Alright guys, welcome to my Let's Play XCOM UFO Defense, also known as Enemy Unknown, I believe in the Europe releases. This is actually going to be my first Let's Play of the trilogy of XCOM games. It's going to be UFO Defense, Terror from the Deep once I've beaten this game, and XCOM Apocalypse once I beat Terror from the Deep or lose utterly and horribly, since I plan on doing Superhuman in all three games. This game I'm pretty confident I can beat in Superhuman, even with the number of restrictions that I like to place on myself, like not spamming heavy plasma on every character I have, and also not using much, if any, psi at all, just screening through some troops and using the high psi defense guys so I don't get everybody mind controlled and die. There's a few technical issues, so this is going to be kind of a run through to see to kind of show it off to people that are more technical savvy with Fraps and older games than me, so I can figure out you might not see it now, but I'm sure it'll show up later in the Geoscape or the Tactical Scape, where you can see it basically copies the pixels from the bottom and throws it up top somewhere periodically. So I want to try to get that fixed because it's kind of obnoxious to see. But in the meantime, I'm going to try to start this Superhuman. Give you a little taste of how I like to start my games off and play this game. I almost always start here in the Alps in Europe. If you zoom in, you can see the countries. There's the 5 countries that are easily covered. Egypt is usually covered with that base, as well as parts of Russia. And while you can go in the US and Canada, the US pays you a lot more, but you're only covering 1.5 countries over here as opposed to covering 6.5 or something over here, where the money kind of adds up in this area. So it actually turns out being better in my opinion. So like center it off, I usually build it right here, and it's in Europe, so I call my first base in Europe Eurocom. Sorry, I kind of hit the mic there. So, the first thing I like to do, go into bases. I use XcomUtility. It has a mode where you can set up a more defensible base or a more advanced base with a large radar and containment, but that's a little too off from the original game, so I like to leave it. But I like to build a defensible base by replacing my old hangars. It takes 25 days, but I'm not too worried about an alien attack in the first month. Build an alien containment, build a large radar, always need more living quarters space, and general stores are usually a good thing to build. Get some more space to hold loot and all that. Research, try not to forget your research. Laser weapons, I almost always start with. I like to get those unlimited ammo, laser pistols, laser rifles, and I actually love the heavy laser with XcomUtility, because it actually turns it into the weapon it should be. Basically a giant heavy sniper rifle kind of weapon, where I just have 1 or 2 guys on my ship that are really good firing accuracy, and I'll give them heavy lasers, and I'll just have them sit next to the Sky Ranger and just peg people from all the way across the map. Works out well for me. Gotta go look through our soldiers. Low bravery can be very painful, especially in Superhuman, Iron Man, because I'm going to be doing all these 3 games Iron Man style. I'm not going to save and load if I lose one of my favorite guys. It's just how the game rolls. So low bravery is the more troops you lose, the more chance they have to lose morale. If their morale is low, they can panic and shoot your own guys and all that. Here's a guy that 10 bravery is dangerous to have around. So I'm going to just give him a first name and know that he's basically going to be a fodder scout guy. He's going to run out ahead and take shots for the rest of my troops. 30 bravery is pretty good. Reactions are a little low. I like to have 45 or higher. Here's a decent troop. Strength is a good one, because if you have too much weight on your character, the time units will be decreased, so you won't have as many. That's not a good thing. But his reactions are particularly high. Firing accuracy is pretty good, and his bravery is alright, 30, not too bad. Looks like got an average of 30 right now. This guy is probably going to be one of my better ones, even though he's kind of weak. Start him off with just like a pistol or something. This will probably be another fodder slash scout person. Do all my... Make sure I have at least 30 for regular troops. The other guys I'm not going to care much about. Alright. See, make sure they're not the same first names. So I got 3 fodder scout persons. Equip craft, I like to have 1 with double stingrays. The other person I'll leave a stingray and a cannon. Adjust their weapons. I like to, for the first few missions, keep everybody with the same stuff so it's simpler to equip them. However, I do like certain weapons that other people don't like. However, I always buy 10 scientists and 12 soldiers to start off. Come down here. Oops, go all the way down. Always have electro flares just in case you do a night mission. Just have around some stun rods. High explosives, I actually use the updated high explosive for XcomUtility. It actually ups the damage to 200, which is enough to destroy the outer wall of a UFO, 1 square. I think Earth Tech should be, high explosive should be good enough to at least blow 1 little hole in a wall of UFO, so I use that. Proximity grenades are nice to have. Smoke grenades are ingenious, especially on Superhuman. You're going to need them if you want to not lose all your guys quickly. Let's see. Get some large rockets for my rocket launcher. I think you start with a heavy cannon and an auto cannon. I'm just going to buy a couple of high explosive rounds for these. I like to use these for a couple of missions until I get some heavier weapons. Always need some extra rifle ammo. And I think I have enough to get a heavy weapon platform, which I actually use the tanks in this game. I use updated tanks for XcomUtility, which actually makes them useful. I actually don't have room for the ammo, so I'll wait on those. Actually makes the tanks a lot more useful. Actually takes some hits and scout out for you. So I did my research, got my new facilities going, crafts are ready to go, my soldiers are good enough for now. Geoscape it is, and we're going to wait for a UFO. Now, just my new supplies. Here's my scientists and new soldiers, so I'm going to throw the rest of my scientists on my laser weapons. Alright. And I got some new soldiers. There's another person with low bravery. This is a good batch of soldiers, wow. Very good batch of soldiers. Here's the duds at the bottom. Failed their psych exam. I'm actually going to keep my original 8 soldiers for the first UFO. I don't know if that's going to land or not, so I'm going to... A little bit laggy there. I'm going to just kind of stand off and follow this guy around. Oh, and he landed. Great. Oh. Let's hope I can get there in time now. Alright, first ground mission.